YouTube. I am back again, and today I wanted to talk to you about being different. I actually want to call to action to be different. Now, when we were younger, being different was not always a good thing. Like me, I was a nerdy girl, was not popular, did not have the fanciest clothes. I was poor, which is not popular for most people. There are a lot of nuances to what's not cool. It could be the way you dress. It could be the way you talk. And when you don't fit in, you oftentimes strive so hard to fit in, to be like everyone else. And I think that those tendencies follow us into adulthood. They follow us in the manner of keeping up with the Joneses. We want the things that we see. We want the fancy car. We want the big house with all the rooms. We want the nicest clothes and jewelry. We want designer bags and designer shoes and all of those things that make you feel like I am it. I have made it. I have what they have. And that can be to our detriment. Trying to acquire those things to look a way when it's not to your benefit can wreak havoc on you, not only now and can keep you broke, but it can have you broke in the future. So my call of action to be different is to be different than the norm in our country. And the norm is that 1 in 5 Americans have no savings. The norm is that 1 in 5 Americans have no retirement savings at all, and they're 50 plus years old. The norm is that most Americans could not pay for a $1,000 emergency with cash that they've saved. They would have to go into debt to pay that. The norm and being the same would be that you meet all of those requirements. The norm and fitting in doesn't sound very good to me. It doesn't sound like a very good road to be going down. Now, I've been different forever. I've always been different. I'm going to be different. You know, over time you accept your differences. I think everyone comes to terms. You've seen the stories of the people that were, or even at your own high school reunion, the people that were maybe the outcasts, and you see them in current day and you're like, man, it's like complete different person. So I want everyone to be different or to try to be different. Now, I know that there's certain circumstances and limitations on what you can do, but I'm saying to be different today when it comes to finances is to delay gratification. What different looks like is not going to be maybe what you aspire to or what you want to be. To be different today may mean that you're driving an older car, but it's getting you from A to B. To be different today may mean you don't have those designer clothes or fancy this and that. You may not have a Birkin bag. You may not have all of those expensive things right now. You may not have the biggest house on the block. But if you were to delay the gratification, just put those things off, you could still aspire for them down the road. But if you just focused on today, just focused on the here and now and what you can do now, who knows whether later on down the road you will be able to have all of those things and more. And I think like today I just see so many people have they an impulse to have it right now. I need it right now. I want it right now, right now, right now. And in some instances, in some ways I admire that. I admire that people are like, well, I want and deserve this right now. I admire that feeling because I think everybody inside feels like I deserve, you look at celebrities on TV, you're like, I deserve everything that they have. What's so special about them that they can have this, that, and all of those things, and I don't? So I totally understand those desires to want those things, but sometimes our timing is off. It's not our time to have those things. Our time is later, once we establish ourselves, once we are able to be in a better position to have those things. And this is a call to action to you, if you're watching this video, to try in some area to start the practice of delayed gratification. Meaning, example, there is one particular bag that I want. I want that bag. I want it, and I want it now. But I could go and I could spend up money right now to get the bag. Then I could have an emergency or something come up, and I'll be like, man, I wish I hadn't spent that money on that bag. And so what I can do is save little by little until I have the actual physical cash to buy that item. It may not be right now, but at some point I will reach my goal and then I can have said bag. That is delayed gratification. And from what I can see, we are lacking that as a whole. And I am no one to talk because I have been a victim. I have fallen prey to my own selfish wants and spent money that I probably shouldn't have at certain times. And now, since I've gotten a little older and realized that, man, I'm just as happy getting this 5 months from now as I am right now, or a year from now as I am right now. Once you start to realize that every little thing, you don't have to have every little thing right this second, the better off you'll be, the better financial decisions you'll be making, the better financial position you'll be in overall. You just may not be the flashiest person in the room. And if you have it like that, to be the flashiest person in the room and always be the flashiest person in the room, and you got a money tree in the backyard that just overflows with cash and all sorts of glittery things, then that's great. I want one of those where you get them. But the average person is not in that position. But I think because we want those things, we see those things, we will push something else off to have that, just to say, I have that. And that is just, it's not a good way to think, not just about money, but in life in general. Because I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, anything worth having is worth working hard for. That is a practice of delayed gratification, because you are working hard to reach a goal later down the road. And we should be putting that much effort, that kind of effort, into making better financial decisions so that we can, as we get older, and let me just go into this for a second, because I know when young people watch these videos, they're like, oh, easy for you to say, blah, blah, blah. I, at one time, was younger as well, and I never even thought about myself at the age I am now. It's hard to see that when you're young, but I want to hopefully be here a lot longer than I'm here even right now. And I don't want those years that I am here to be a struggle. It's very normal to have your struggle times in your 20s and 30s. I had my share of struggle times. But as you start to get older and older, you want those struggle times to be less and less, if at all. You hope not at all. So you are the best person to set yourself up to do that, to get yourself there, so that when you are older, those worries that you're having right now are a long distant memory, and you can pass on your knowledge to the next generation that will be coming up after you. So I am asking you to be different. Be different than the norm. With high credit card debt and extravagant car payments and a bunch of material items that you really couldn't afford, but you have them now, and now the value of said items is low, money back on a return were you to sell them. Again, I like things just like anybody else. I spend money in dumb ways sometimes on material things that I just want, just because I want them. I don't see any problem with that. But I will not spend on those items unless I know that all of my other things that I need, my safety nets and my savings and all those things, are in order first. So be different. Be different with me. I've always been different, always strive to be different. Because different's not half bad. It's not half bad. So that is my message for today. Be different, people.